In the year 2487, the Milky Way galaxy was not a place of peace. It was ruled by the Galactic Council, a powerful alliance of ancient alien races. They controlled trade, science, and war. Their word was law across thousands of worlds. Most species followed them out of fear, not loyalty. And among them, Earth was nothing but a dot, weak, slow, and often ignored. Humans had entered space only a few centuries ago. Compared to the Council's technology, humanity's ships were small and outdated. Earth had no vote in Council matters. It was labeled a developing species, allowed to exist as long as it caused no trouble. The Council believed humans were too emotional, too divided, and too young to matter. But Earth had something that many advanced species had lost: determination. Captain James Carter stood on the bridge of the Vigilant, Earth's first long-range defense ship. It wasn't the biggest ship in space, but it was Earth's best. Sleek, strong, and fast, it was built to patrol deep space and protect human colonies. Carter, a former fighter pilot, had earned the right to command her. He was calm under pressure and never backed down from a fight. The Vigilant was stationed near the edge of Council-controlled space, near the Carthus Belt, a quiet region of stars and asteroids. It was here that Earth had placed a secret research station known as EOS-7. The scientists on EOS-7 had been studying a strange energy signature coming from a nearby planet. For months, they had sent back reports filled with data and theory, nothing exciting, until now. Carter had just received a message from EOS-7. The lead scientist reported something big. "Captain Carter," the scientist said over the comm, her voice urgent, "we found something, a new form of energy. It's unlike anything we've seen. It's stable, powerful, and clean. If we can harness it, it could change how we travel, how we live." Carter's eyes narrowed. "Can it be weaponized?" "We're not sure yet," she replied. "But if the Council hears about this, they'll come." That was the problem. Any new energy source, especially one powerful enough to shift control, was seen as a threat by the Council. They called it prevention. Carter called it fear. He sent the report to Earth Command and asked for instructions. The reply came quickly. "Hold your position. Monitor the station. Do not engage unless fired upon." Carter knew what that meant. Earth was afraid. Earth always played it safe. But he couldn't shake the feeling that something was coming. Later that day, the Vigilance sensors picked up movement. 3 Council ships, approaching fast. "They're warships," said his sensor officer. "And they're not answering our signals." Carter stood silently, watching the display. EOS-7 is unarmed. They won't survive an attack. The officer looked at him. "Orders, sir?" Technically, Carter wasn't allowed to fight. The Council considered such action an act of war. But Carter wasn't just a soldier. He was a leader. He knew when to follow orders and when to trust his instincts. "Plot a course to EOS-7, he said. Full speed. The Vigilant raced toward the station, but they were too late. By the time they arrived, the Council ships had already opened fire. The station was burning in space, pieces floating like shattered glass. Carter gritted his teeth. "Launch rescue teams. Get anyone out who's still alive." Fighter pilots flew out, dodging Council fire, grabbing survivors in escape pods. Carter ordered the Vigilant to return fire, not to destroy, but to protect. He didn't want war, but he couldn't let humans die without a fight. After a brief skirmish, the Council ships pulled back. They had made their point. Earth had been warned. Carter looked at the wreckage of EOS-7 on the view screen. 23 scientists were dead. A discovery that could have changed the galaxy was gone. But something else had been born that day: war. The Council had assumed humans were weak. Carter knew they had made a mistake. The news of EOS-7's destruction reached Earth within hours. The footage was broadcast around the planet. Flames in space, shattered metal, and silent screams. People watched in shock. 23 of Earth's best minds were gone. The research they worked so hard for had vanished in seconds. The Galactic Council released a short message. The Human Research Station was conducting unauthorized activity near protected Council space. We acted in defense of peace. To Earth, it was a lie. To the Council, it was routine. In secret, Earth's leaders gathered in the World Defense Command, a steel-walled complex buried deep beneath the surface of the planet. Generals, scientists, and politicians sat around a circular table. The room was cold and tense. "We should not escalate this," said one Council-supporting diplomat. We cannot win a war against the galaxy. We can't ignore it either, said General Marks. They killed our people. Unprovoked. A few heads nodded. Most did not. One man sat at the far end of the table, watching quietly, Captain James Carter. He had returned from the EOS-7 mission with 24 survivors and a ship scorched by plasma fire. He had defied orders and opened fire on Council ships. Some saw him as a hero. Others saw him as a threat. The president of Earth's unified government looked at him. Captain Carter, she said, do you believe the Council will attack again? Carter stood. His voice was calm but firm. Yes. They see us as a risk now. We found something they wanted to keep hidden. They destroyed it. Next, they'll try to make sure we never find anything again. So what do we do? Someone asked. Carter looked around the room. We prepare for war. Or we wait for extinction. The room went silent. 2 days later, Carter received new orders. He was to remain on high alert near the Council border, but avoid direct conflict. Earth wanted to send a message of strength, but not start a full war. Carter understood, but he didn't agree. Meanwhile, the Council moved quickly. High Chancellor Vyrek addressed the other species in the Council Hall on Caldrus Prime, a planet made of crystal towers and black skies. Vyrek's face was sharp and his skin shimmered like silver. He stood before the leaders of dozens of alien civilizations. Humans have violated peace protocols, Vyrek said, his voice echoing through the chamber. They are unpredictable and emotional. We must take action before they threaten the balance of the galaxy. Many aliens nodded in agreement. Some stayed silent. A few looked uneasy. A small lizard-like diplomat raised a clawed hand. High Chancellor, is not war a dangerous path? Vyrek smiled coldly. There will be no war, he said. Only cleansing. Carter returned to the Vigilant. His crew worked around the clock, fixing systems, checking weapons, scanning space. They knew something was coming. Every alert made hearts race. Then, one morning, the alarm sounded. Multiple Council ships approaching, said the sensor officer. No response to hails. All weapons charged. Carter's eyes narrowed. How many? 7 warships. Too many for one Earth ship to handle alone. Send a distress signal to Earth Command, Carter ordered. Begin evasive maneuvers. The Council ships didn't wait. Lasers lit up the darkness. The Vigilant dodged and returned fire, but it was outnumbered and outgunned. Inside the ship, lights flickered. Metal groaned. Explosions rocked the hull. The medical bay filled with wounded. Fires burned in 2 decks. Still, Carter stood firm. We hold them here, he said. We don't let them through. His crew followed without question. These were trained men and women who believed in their captain. As the battle raged, Carter made a decision. Divert all power to forward shields. Charge the main cannon. The crew obeyed. The cannon was Earth's most powerful weapon, but it could only be fired once before overheating. Target their lead ship, Carter said. The ship locked on. Energy built up, humming through the walls. The crew braced themselves. Fire. A beam of blue light shot through space, cutting through the enemy flagship like a knife through paper. It exploded, sending shockwaves across the battlefield. The other Council ships hesitated. They're retreating, shouted a pilot. Carter didn't cheer. He knew this wasn't a victory. It was only the beginning. That night, Carter sent a message to Earth Command. Council fleet attacked. 1 destroyed. 6 retreated. Minimal survivors on our side. I request immediate support. This is not a warning. This is war. On Earth, the message played before the president and her advisors. No one spoke. No one needed to. The war had begun, and Earth had just fired its first true shot. Captain James Carter stood at the viewing window of the Vigilant, staring out at the stars. Behind him, his crew moved through the ship, making repairs and tending to the wounded. They had survived their first real battle against the Galactic Council, but barely. The damage was heavy. The main cannon was offline. Shield systems were at 40%. Supplies were running low. And still, Carter refused to retreat. A message came through from Earth Command. The president's voice was clear but serious. Captain Carter, you are ordered to return to Earth for debriefing. You have done enough. Carter didn't argue. He knew the real reason for the order. Earth was panicking. The leaders wanted to take control before things got worse. As the Vigilant set course for home, Carter's thoughts were filled with questions. Why had the Council responded so violently? What were they trying to hide? What was the real value of the energy source from EOS-7? When he landed back on Earth, Carter was greeted by applause. but not celebration. The mood was tense. Civilians feared what would come next. Soldiers waited for orders. Families demanded answers. He entered the World Defense Command once again. The same generals, the same politicians. But this time, the fear in the room was greater. The president stood at the head of the table. Captain Carter, your report confirms that the council has declared open hostility. We must now decide how to respond. A defense minister spoke up. We should begin evacuation plans for our colonies. We cannot protect them all. Another general added. We need to focus on defending Earth itself. The council will come here next. Carter listened. Then he stepped forward. If we run, we lose everything. If we surrender, we prove them right. We must fight, and we must unite. A silence followed. Some nodded. Others looked away. Finally, the president spoke. Then you will lead our defense. You've proven you can command under fire. As of now, you are promoted to Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Forces. Carter didn't smile. The weight of that title was heavy. Understood, he said. We'll be ready. Across the planet, the call went out. Carter's voice appeared on screens in cities, colonies, and outposts. This is not the end. It's the beginning. We've been seen as weak for too long. But we are stronger than they know. Together, we will stand. Together, we will survive. Factories began working day and night to build ships and weapons. Old alliances were reawakened. Soldiers returned to duty. Scientists worked around the clock to recreate what was lost at EOS 7. Engineers studied the wreckage of the Council ship destroyed by the Vigilant, searching for weaknesses. Still, the Council did not wait. 1 week after Carter's speech, the first human colony fell. New Terra, a mining world orbiting a red dwarf, was attacked without warning. The Council ships came from hyperspace, fired on the city domes, and left no survivors. The broadcast was intercepted by Earth satellites. Carter watched the footage in silence. Fires. Screams. A single message left behind. Submit or be erased. The room around Carter stayed still, cold with fear. He turned to his team. No more retreats. Carter began organizing Earth's forces. He split the defense fleet into rapid response groups. New officers were chosen based on skill, not politics. The Vigilant was upgraded and assigned to the front lines again. Carter personally visited each shipyard, each command center, and each defense station. He spoke to soldiers and technicians alike. One evening, he stood on the deck of the newly built warship Honorbound, speaking to a group of young recruits. I know you're scared, he said. So am I. But courage isn't about being fearless. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you are afraid. His words spread across the system, building hope where there had only been doubt. But not everyone supported Carter. Within Earth's own government, a group of officials pushed for surrender. They believed survival was better than war. They feared total destruction. A secret meeting was held. A plan was formed to send a peace message to the Council without Carter's knowledge. It would offer terms of surrender in exchange for Earth's safety. Carter learned of the plan 2 days later. He met with the president privately. If we send that message, he said, they will see us as weak again. They will come harder. They will not offer mercy. They do not want peace. They want control. The president nodded slowly. I believe you. The message won't be sent. Carter knew trust had been shaken, but he also knew he still had a job to do. The battle was coming. Earth was under siege, by the Council and by fear. But Carter had made a choice. They would not run. They would not bow. They would fight. The war had reached its boiling point. The Galactic Council, led by High Chancellor Vyrek, had made its intentions clear. Earth would either kneel or burn. Human colonies continued to fall. The skies of small outposts turned red with fire. Entire cities were wiped out within minutes. The Council wasn't just attacking, they were sending a message. And Captain James Carter, now Supreme Commander, was sending one back. Inside Earth's Central Command Station, Carter stood before a giant display screen. Small red lights marked human losses. Green dots were all that remained of Earth's military presence across space. The galaxy had never looked so large, and Earth had never felt so alone. But Carter wasn't one to quit. We need allies, he said to his inner team. We won't survive this war by ourselves. General Marks, one of Carter's most trusted advisors, frowned. Most species won't help us. They fear the Council. Not all, Carter replied. Some of them have felt the Council's grip tighten. We just need to find the ones brave enough to fight back. The search began immediately. Encrypted messages were sent to independent alien systems, small planets, outlaw colonies, traders, and scientists who had broken away from Council control. Carter offered them one simple deal: stand with Earth and stand for freedom. Days later, a strange signal came in. It was scrambled, full of static. Then, a voice broke through. "This is Commander Selak of the Renari Outpost. We received your message. We remember EOS 7. The Council silenced our scientists too. We will meet." It was a start. The Renari were not a powerful species, but they were smart. Known for their stealth and hacking abilities, they had once been allies of the Council, until Virek declared their research dangerous and shut them down. Carter flew to meet them in person. He took a small diplomatic ship, no weapons, no backup, just trust. He arrived at the edge of an asteroid field, where the Renari base floated in silence. Inside, he met Commander Selak, a tall being with skin like dark glass and glowing blue eyes. "You are braver than most humans," Selak said. "You came without a fleet." "I came with a message," Carter answered. "We don't want to rule the galaxy. We just want to survive. But we won't surrender. Not to fear. Not to Virek." Selak looked at him, quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Then we fight with you." Carter returned to Earth with new hope and new allies. More messages followed. Small groups, rebels, and scientists offered support. It wasn't much, but it was enough to plan a strike. Carter gathered his commanders. "The Council believes we're broken, but we're not. We will hit them where they don't expect, on the outer ring of their supply network. If we cut their fuel and weapons flow, they'll feel it." The plan was risky. Earth's fleet would split into 3, attacking different Council outposts at the same time. It would stretch their forces thin, but it was the only chance to strike back. Carter led one fleet himself. The mission launched at dawn. 3 fleets left Earth's orbit like arrows in the dark. Carter's fleet headed to a planet called Creon 5, a key refueling hub for Council warships. As they approached, Carter gave a final message to his crew. "This mission is dangerous. Some of us may not return. But if we succeed, we show the galaxy that Earth will not die quietly. We show them that we still stand." The fleet came out of hyperspace above Creon 5. Council ships were waiting, but not enough. They had not expected humans to strike first. "Engage," Carter ordered. The battle was fast and brutal. Earth's ships, supported by Renari tech, moved with surprising speed. Carter's tactics, quick turns, false signals, hit-and-run moves, confused the enemy. One by one, the Council ships fell. The refueling station exploded in a wave of fire. Human ships pulled back just in time. Mission complete. Back on Earth, the other 2 fleets returned with similar victories. Council losses were rising. For the first time, the galaxy took notice. News spread on alien networks. Humans strike back. Council defeated at Creon 5. New alliance forming. And in the high halls of the Galactic Council, Virek watched silently. His hand curled into a fist. "They dare resist," he said. "Then we will show them true power." He sent a single order to the Council fleets. "Prepare for full invasion. Earth will burn." On Earth, Carter stood in the command room, listening to new reports. Enemy fleets were moving. Massive ones. He looked at the star map. The red lights were closing in on Earth. "They're coming," he said. His officers waited for instructions. Carter turned, eyes steady. "Then we'll be ready." The invasion had begun. Massive Council fleets were moving through space, heading straight for Earth. Dozens of warships, shaped like dark blades, lit up the stars as they crossed sectors without mercy. Their message was clear. Earth had challenged the Council, and now it would be erased. On Earth, alarms rang through every city. The skies above the planet glowed with energy shields as satellites repositioned and space stations activated defense systems. Civilians were moved to underground shelters. The planet braced for impact. In Earth's main command center, Captain James Carter stood before a wall of glowing displays. Red dots marked the enemy's approach. The Council wasn't holding back this time. They were bringing their full strength. Earth's final test had arrived. "We can't beat them ship to ship," General Marks said quietly. "Not in a straight fight." "I know," Carter replied. "That's why we won't fight them the way they expect." He turned to his team. "We're not going to defend Earth. Not at first. We're going to attack before they reach us." The room went silent. Carter explained the plan. The Renari had shared data about a Council command relay, an advanced AI network deep in space that coordinated fleet movements. If Earth could disable that relay, the Council ships would lose guidance and delay their attack. Confusion could buy Earth precious time. But it's guarded, one officer said. Heavily. That's why I'll lead the strike, Carter said. We take a small fleet, go in fast, hit the core, and get out. It was a long shot. A direct attack on the Council's command relay had never been done. No one dared. But Carter didn't hesitate. The mission launched within hours. Carter took the Vigilant, now upgraded with Renari stealth systems and rebuilt weaponry. Alongside him were 6 other ships, fast, small, and deadly. Each one carried the best Earth had to offer. They entered hyperspace and reappeared near a dark star, far from known lanes. The command relay floated there like a spider's web, silent, vast, and covered in blinking lights. Council drones circled it like a living shield. The moment Earth's fleet came out of warp, the drones attacked. Shields up. Keep formation, Carter shouted. The battle was fierce. Energy beams sliced through space. One Earth ship was lost within seconds. But Carter pressed on. He pushed the Vigilant through enemy fire, dodging, weaving, returning blast with perfect aim. Target the relay core, he ordered. The weapons team locked on. Fire. A burst of light exploded from the Vigilant's main cannon. It struck the relay center. For a moment, nothing happened. Then everything did. The relay core overloaded. A wave of energy surged through its system. Screens went black across the Council's nearby warships. Their AI went offline. Orders stopped. Confusion spread. It worked. Carter's fleet pulled back, vanishing into hyperspace before reinforcements could arrive. Back on Earth, the effect was felt immediately. Council fleets approaching the planet slowed down, paused, even turned in different directions. Without proper coordination, they couldn't form an attack wave. Earth had bought time days, maybe even weeks. Carter returned home to cheers and relief. But he didn't celebrate. We've delayed them, he told the Council. Not stopped them. They'll regroup. Still, the victory gave Earth something it hadn't had before, hope. That same week, more alien species contacted Earth. The Renari's broadcast had spread. Footage of the command relay's destruction had reached hidden corners of the galaxy. A trader race called the Valari offered fuel supplies. A warrior clan from the ice moon of Vax sent fighters. Even a former Council scientist reached out, offering secrets in exchange for protection. Earth's alliances were growing. Carter met with his command team once more. We'll fight them in orbit when they return. This time, we won't be alone. He reviewed their defenses. Earth now had satellite shields, orbital cannons, hidden missile bunkers, and cloaked support ships. Carter had also ordered the creation of mobile units, small fleets that could strike and vanish before being hit. He looked at his officers. This is our moment. The Council thinks we're afraid, but we've survived every attack. We've hit back. Now we show them that humans don't just fight, they endure. Far across the stars, in the Galactic Council's war chamber, Vyrek stared at the latest reports. The relay destroyed. Earth alliances growing. His fleet scattered and confused. He stood, tall and cold, and spoke in a voice like ice. No more games. Prepare the final wave. All fleets. All firepower. We end this. The skies around Earth darkened once more. From deep space, the largest Council armada ever seen approached. The final battle was coming. And this time, Earth was ready. The stars above Earth grew crowded. Thousands of Council ships now filled the sky, forming an iron wall around the planet. Massive warcruisers, black as night, moved into position. Fighters buzzed like angry insects. The final wave had arrived. This was the full force of the Galactic Council. No more warnings. No more delays. From his command seat aboard the Vigilant, Captain James Carter watched the enemy fleet spread across space like a storm. Around him, Earth's own ships moved into formation. The Renari vessels cloaked themselves in the shadows, waiting. The Vaxian warriors flew their steel-gray fighters in sharp lines, eager for battle. The Valari ships stayed in the back, powering Earth's defense grids with their advanced energy cells. This time, Earth was not alone. Carter opened a direct channel to all ships. "This is Commander Carter," he said. "Today, the Council thinks they will crush us. But they've already failed. We are still here. We have fought back. And now, we fight for everything." He paused. "For our homes. For our people. For our future. We fight, and we win." Across the fleets, voices answered in every language. Humans and aliens. Soldiers and pilots. No one would surrender today. The first blast came from a Council dreadnought. It fired a beam of white energy straight toward Earth's orbital station. The station's shield held, but just barely. Then, the rest of the Council fleet opened fire. The battle had begun. Explosions lit up the darkness. Earth ships darted between beams and plasma bolts. Fighters zipped through enemy lines, launching missiles and countermeasures. Orbital cannons on the planet's surface fired upward, breaking through shields and slicing into hulls. The Vigilant led the front assault. With its advanced armor and Renari stealth drives, it could slip past heavy fire and hit enemy flagships. Carter stayed focused, calling out targets, adjusting strategies, and keeping morale high. One of Earth's newest warships, the Defiant, took a direct hit and split in two. Carter clenched his jaw. Lives were being lost every minute, but the line had to hold. A group of Council bombers broke through and rushed toward Earth's surface. Carter made a fast call. Activate Stratos Grid. The Volari-powered shield grid kicked in, forming a glowing net across the upper atmosphere. The bombers slammed into it and exploded like firecrackers. The shield flickered, but stayed up. Status? Carter asked. Grid holding, replied his officer. Energy levels dropping. We can't keep it up forever. Then we don't need forever. Just long enough. On the far side of the planet, a Renari ship uncloaked and hacked into a Council battle network. Their goal? Scramble enemy commands and mislead their ships. It worked. Some Council ships began firing at each other, confused by the false signals. Others broke formation. The opening Carter needed. Push forward, he ordered. All units, strike now. The Vigilant led the charge straight into the Council's center line. Earth's forces crashed into the enemy fleet like a tidal wave. The sky was full of light and fire. One by one, Council cruisers fell. Inside the Vigilant, systems screamed as damage mounted. Sparks flew from control panels. Carter's pilot was wounded, but the ship kept moving. Target the dreadnought, Carter yelled. They locked on. Fire main cannon. The beam surged forward, cutting through the massive Council ship's hull. It cracked open, its core overloading. The explosion lit up the space around it like a new sun. Cheers filled the comms. The Council flagship was down. On the Council command ship, High Chancellor Virek watched in disbelief. His calm face cracked with rage. These creatures, he hissed. They were supposed to break. He ordered a final charge. All remaining Council ships surged forward, aiming for Earth. This was their last attempt to break through and destroy the planet. Carter saw it coming. His fleet was weakened, numbers thinning, shields fading. Pull back, he said. Let them come in closer. It was a risky move, but part of his plan. As the Council ships moved forward, they entered Earth's inner defense zone, where hidden missile silos had waited in silence. Carter gave the order. Fire everything. From the planet's surface, hundreds of missiles launched into space. Some were small. Others carried nuclear warheads. They streaked through the sky like comets, striking the Council ships at close range. Fire spread across the enemy fleet. Ships broke apart, some crashing into each other. One final explosion took out the last remaining cruiser. Silence returned to space. The battle was over. Earth had won. The Vigilant, scarred but still standing, returned to orbit. Carter sat in his command seat, exhausted. His face was dirty, his eyes heavy, but he didn't relax yet. Status? He asked. Enemy fleet destroyed, came the reply. We lost 10 ships. But the planet is safe. Carter closed his eyes for a moment. Send word to the Council. The war is over. Earth stands free. On Caldrus Prime, the Council held a quiet emergency meeting. Virek did not attend. Rumors said he had vanished after the defeat. Without their leader, the Council paused all military action. Across the galaxy, species watched in awe. Earth had not only survived, it had stood up to the greatest power in the stars and won. The war was over, but the scars remained. Above Earth, space was quiet again. Pieces of shattered Council warships floated in the void, some still burning slowly. The black sky that once held an enemy armada now held silence. For the first time in months, no alarms sounded and no missiles launched. The people of Earth stepped out of bunkers and shelters. They looked to the skies and saw stars again. Not fire, not fear, just stars. Across cities, colonies, and space stations, there was relief, but not celebration. Too many had been lost. Too much had been damaged. But Earth had survived, and that meant everything. In the command center aboard the Vigilant, Captain James Carter stood before his crew one last time. His uniform was torn, his eyes tired, but his voice steady. This victory belongs to all of us, he said. To every soldier who stood their ground. To every engineer who kept us flying. To every citizen who never gave up hope. He paused, then added, the council thought we would fall. They thought we were weak. But we showed them that strength doesn't come from power, it comes from unity. His words were broadcast across the planet. They echoed in alien systems. The galaxy was watching. At Earth's capital, the Unified Council of Nations held a gathering to honor those lost. A long wall of names had been carved into steel: pilots, scientists, officers, medics, civilians. Some names belonged to humans. Others belonged to allies from distant stars. All had stood side by side. The president stepped forward. Because of the courage of one captain and the will of many brave souls, our planet is still free, she said. Let history remember this day, not as the day Earth was invaded, but as the day Earth rose. Captain Carter stood beside her, but he didn't smile. He didn't seek attention. He was thinking of the people who didn't come home. His crew. His friends. The scientists from EOS 7. The colonies that had been lost. He had won the war, but it had changed him. Weeks passed. Galactic Council ships stopped patrolling near Earth. There were no more threats, no more warnings. And for the first time in history, an official invitation was sent from the Council to Earth. The message was brief. Earth is invited to attend the next session of the Galactic Assembly. As a recognized independent power. It wasn't a full welcome, but it was a step. Respect, finally earned. Carter was asked to lead the Earth delegation, but he declined. I'm a soldier, not a diplomat, he said. Let others speak now. I've said what I needed to. Instead, he returned to space quietly, without ceremony. The Vigilant was being repaired, and he planned to fly her again. Not for war this time, but for exploration. There was still so much unknown. So many stars unvisited. Carter believed that humanity's future wasn't just about defense, it was about discovery. Before leaving Earth, he stood on a cliff overlooking the ocean. The sun was rising. Wind moved through the trees. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he spoke, softly. We're still here. And now, they know. Behind him, a group of young cadets watched. They were training to be the next generation of explorers and defenders. They had grown up during the war. They had seen what humans could endure. And now, they carried that strength forward. The galaxy had changed. Earth was no longer a forgotten world at the edge of space. It was a voice. A presence. A people who had stood when they were supposed to fall. And though peace would never be guaranteed, Earth would never be underestimated again.